Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. GASH, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. GASH Group also provides the best security company, GASH Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. GASH Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact GASH on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at GASH Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH. Yunus English School. For quality and affordable education, look no further. Yunus English School has what you've been looking for. Yunus English School is a leading institution in the Gambia with nursery, lower basic, upper basic and senior secondary education with magnificent teaching and learning facilities. Yunus English School has highly qualified and experienced teaching staff preparing students for university and beyond. Yunus English School is an institution with distinct academic excellence, and the school operates not only in the usual 5 days a week but 6 days a week, Mondays to Saturdays, breaking a remarkable record on credit hour coverage for all our students. Contact Yunus English School today to register your children on 77-81443 or 707-0091 or still on 9249426. Better still, you can email yunusenglish@yahoo.com. At Yunus English School, excellence is a priority without compromise.
TAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
The Red Cross emblem. The unauthorized use of the Red Cross emblem in the Gambia is illegal and punishable by law. Did you know that in the Gambia, only the Gambia Red Cross Society and the medical services of the Gambia Armed Forces with specific restrictions are allowed to use the Red Cross emblem? Did you know that the use of the Red Cross emblem by commercial entities such as hospitals, pharmacies, health posts, private and public properties is also considered as misuse of the emblem? That its misuse could threaten Red Cross missions and put humanitarian workers at risk? The emblem is fully protected by the international humanitarian law and the laws of the Gambia, and its misuse by any other party leads to its violation, which is sanctioned with penalties. The Gambia Red Cross utilized the emblem to signify our promise, neutrality and impartiality, to provide assistance to all people in need regardless of race, color, belief, religion or political affiliation. It serves as a symbol of protection and assistance for the Red Cross teams, while to those we serve, it is a symbol of hope. Let's know, respect and protect the Red Cross emblem.
It's a warm reception to our studios here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Sarah Kamara. In the headlines tonight, tributes pouring in for late Panderi Mbai. Thousands line streets to welcome President Barrow from countryside. US-Gambia signed agreement for implementation of $25 million enhanced electricity access project. Global Home insists arrest and detention of its rep unlawful. Kunkujang Jatia tourney on the way with 17 teams are entitled. And on the international scene, Uganda boasts security after deadly suicide attacks. Sudan's reinstated Prime Minister Hamdok promises a path to democracy. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed vows to lead army from the battlefront. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Tributes continue to pour in for the departed editor of the US-based Gambian online newspaper Panderi Mbai. The news of the demise of Panderi Mbai broke on Monday, and Gambians from all spheres of life have started sending tributes for the late editor of the Freedom newspaper. Mr. Mbai has been a controversial figure in the Gambian media landscape, and as such has made for himself both foes and friends. But many of his admirers credit him for his invaluable contribution towards the fall of dictatorship, as his Freedom newspaper literally became the lens from which to understand the suffering of Gambians through corruption, nepotism, ineptitude, hunt down of citizens by an unbridled dictator, among many else. Described in many quarters as a behemoth of the Gambian media, the GPU meanwhile hailed Panderi Mbai as brave and consistent in shining light on the ills of the government and government functionaries. President Adama Barrow has joined many to commiserate with the country as well as family of the late courageous and resolute journalist, describing the late Mbai's contribution towards liberating the country from the shackle of dictatorship as huge. And I quote, "I extend my condolence to his family and pray that Allah grants him mercy and Jannatul Firdausi, his lasting abode," President Barrow was quoted as saying. Meanwhile, thousands on Sunday lined the streets to welcome President Adama Barrow as he returned to Banjul after more than a week of campaigning in the countryside. More details in this report.
Sunday marked the end of the first leg of President Barrow's electioneering, barely a fortnight before Gambians elect a new president. Supporters of Mr. Barrow and his NPP-led coalition literally brought the traffic to a standstill as they accompanied him to Banjul, chanting party slogans and praises to the leader. The presidential delegation left Mansakonko at around 1 in the afternoon, but it was only there about 2 in the morning when they arrived at the presidency. President Barrow saw the reception as promising, describing it as an indication of the Gambian people's endorsement and appreciation of the achievements of his administration. The outwardly optimistic and delighted president noted that Gambians have spoken loud and clear that they want continuity with his administration. The Gambian leader highlighted that he has a lot on offer for Gambians, but his main priority is infrastructural development, describing infrastructure as a crucial component of development. President Barrow meanwhile hinted that belts will continue to be tightened barely 12 days to go before votes are cast.
The Gambian final, but we still continue in the campaign. We are very aggressive. We want to garner our support. Every come. But this is the first leg, and we start the second leg on Tuesday. I am very proud of Gambians. Okay. They are supporting, and they continue to support. So definitely, I am very happy.
For Star TV News, I am Binta Kuli.
Global Hearts of Medical Mission Global Home has described the arrest of Nene Frida Gomez and Lamin C as unlawful, saying the action constitutes harassment and intimidation. Here's Dadu Cham with more details.
Ms. Gomez and Mr. C are local representatives of the US-based Global Hearts of Medical Mission, but have since last month been in trouble with the law enforcement as their efforts to protect the interest of their organization continue to pitch them against the Gambian authorities. It could be recollected that the duo was arrested on Friday as they attempted to enter a property at the center of conflict between the Global Home and the authorities. Reports have it that the Gambia government is attempting to cling onto the vigilo-located property to build a hotel on it, but Global Home is having none of this. Aside the legal tool that it's used against the government to assert its ownership claim, Global Home's country's representatives, Nene Freda Gomez and Lamin C, were also busy overseeing the property, but their attempt to enter it on Friday landed them both arrest and detention. The police arrested and detained the two in what Global Home called legitimate discharge of their duties and responsibilities on its behalf. The organization, whilst describing the arrest and detention of its representatives as unlawful, also describes the actions as disregard of the judgment of the High Court. It is ironic that the High Court just recently, 17th November 2021, ruled that the previous arrest and detention of the three staff of Global Home was unlawful and inconsistent, and violated Section 19 of the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia. Yet here we are again, Home Global said in a statement on Sunday. The legal judgments of the court's judiciary are being disregarded. We are being deprived of our constitutional right to property and liberty of our staff. Forced eviction, unlawful custody, and unlawful state responses. The statement signed by Dr. Gabu Mendy added, as it called for the immediate and unconditional release of Mrs. Freda Gomez and Mr. Lamin C. Global Home called for the dropping of charges against the two, if any. The Global Home also appealed to the state to, what it said, observe the rule of law and protect the rights of the organization to continue its humanitarian interventions in the country. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Dada Cham.
The Kunkudan Jatayak tournament on Saturday kicked off to an entertaining start as 17 teams chased their championship dream title. Kubune and Manchester United of Kerewan opened the championship in a game watched by the National Assembly member for Busumbala and some prominent personalities in the community and beyond. Modi El Baji was also watching.
This year's Kunkujang football tournament has been seeing an increase in the number of clubs competing for the converted trophy. Busumbala Legislature Honorable Sekuba Jaju was honored to kickstart the tournament. There was spectacular displays of skills, but the game was characterized by goal drought as both teams launched incursions into each other's territory to no avail. Manchester has the opportunity to punish and humiliate the opponents, but were frustrated by Kunkujang's tactical defending, leading the first half to a goalless end. Kumune's Zakaria James' header, due to poor communication between Manchester keeper and defender, resulted to the first goal of the game in Kumune's favor. Zakaria's goal apparently has bore his side, and despite some substitutions, Kerewan was unable to pull it back. Coach Ibrahim Asedi of Manchester United promised in a post-match interview to go back to the drawing board to make amends before their next game. He thanked the organizing committee for coming up with these initiatives. Kumune United head coach Mustafa Jiba is confident of winning the trophy as his team prepare for their next must-win game. The public relations officer of Kunkujang Jataya Sport Committee, Demba Jata, said the objective of the tournament is to help in scouting of talents for their third division team. The tournament.
The main objective is to bring the youths together, the youths of the area, so that at least there will be unity among the youths in the area, and also to promote football. And our main priority, the main reason why the community we host it, because we are going for the third division. And we also want to scout some players from different communities who we will also use in our third division. And God willing, if we qualify, we will need more players to reinforce the team. So we want to use this tournament as a scouting area. Through this, we will get some players from different teams.
Was co-sponsored by the NPP's campaign manager Lamin Cham and Kunkujan Jataya Sport Committee. For Star TV, I am Modi El Baji.
The Gambia's ambassador to the U.S., Dauda Dr. Fadera, has been leading negotiation effort for enhanced electricity access throughout the country. More on this report.
One of the outcomes of these efforts was the signing of an agreement of a $25 million electricity supply project earlier last week by the government of the Gambia and the Millennium Challenge Corporation's board of directors of the government of the United States in an event held on Tuesday in Washington. The project seeks a governance reform aimed at developing a more effective accountability and transparent power sector governance in the Gambia, as well as improving NAWEC's capability to operate the country's power system in a manner that reduces the frequency and duration of outages. Ambassador Federa commended the U.S. government and people for supporting what he described as policy reforms, crucial to tackling the impediments to the Gambia's economic growth. He observed that the signing of the agreement comes at a time when the Gambia government is showing no sign of slowing down in ensuring universal electricity access by 2025. Remotely addressing the signing ceremony from Banjul, U.S. Ambassador Richard Carl Pascal thanked Ambassador Federa, saying the diplomat has remained a great ally to his country, passionate about deepening and broadening the U.S.-Gambia diplomatic relations. He told his audience that the U.S. will remain a resolute friend of the Gambia. Petroleum and Energy Minister Fafa Sanyang and Finance and Economic Affairs Minister Mambure Njai also witnessed the event. For Star TV News, I am Dado Cham.
Those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news after the short break.
Gambia Angola China Holding GACH, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulaling. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. GACH Gambia Angola China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. GACH Group also provides the best security company, GACH Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. GACH Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact GACH on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at GACH Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia Angola China Holding GACH. Yunus English School. For quality and affordable education, look no further. Yunus English School has what you've been looking for. Yunus English School is a leading institution in the Gambia with nursery, lower basic, upper basic and senior secondary education with magnificent teaching and learning facilities. Yunus English School has highly qualified and experienced teaching staff preparing students for university and beyond. Yunus English School is an institution with distinct academic excellence, and the school operates not only in the usual 5 days a week but 6 days a week, Mondays to Saturdays, breaking a remarkable record on credit hour coverage for all our students. Contact Yunus English School today to register your children on 77814443 or 7070091 or still on 9249426. Better still, you can email yunusenglish@yahoo.com. At Yunus English School, excellence is a priority without compromise.
TAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
The Red Cross emblem. The unauthorized use of the Red Cross emblem in the Gambia is illegal and punishable by law. Did you know that in the Gambia, only the Gambia Red Cross Society and the medical services of the Gambia Armed Forces with specific restrictions are allowed to use the Red Cross emblem? Did you know that the use of the Red Cross emblem by commercial entities such as hospitals, pharmacies, health posts, private and public properties is also considered as misuse of the emblem? That its misuse could threaten Red Cross missions and put humanitarian workers at risk? The emblem is fully protected by the international humanitarian law and the laws of the Gambia, and its misuse by any other party leads to its violation, which is sanctioned with penalties. The Gambia Red Cross utilized the emblem to signify our promise, neutrality and impartiality, to provide assistance to all people in need regardless of race, color, belief, religion or political affiliation. It serves as a symbol of protection and assistance for the Red Cross teams, while to those we serve, it is a symbol of hope. Let's know, respect, and protect the Red Cross emblem.
His Excellency President Adama Barrow has demonstrated his leadership for the development of the country. He has realized the importance of infrastructure for any meaningful outcome to take place. For inclusive development to occur, President Barrow prioritizes rural roads development, constructing highways, bridges, and rural feeder roads. Infrastructure includes the construction of modern markets, an international conference center, and making healthcare more accessible. Under the Barrow administration, the Gambia has put on its smile again and opened to the world and bent on providing ultra-modern facilities to welcome visitors at the Banjul International Airport. Building modern classrooms, creating a conducive environment for teaching and learning is worth the investment in education to enhance skills development and acquisition. President Barrow commits to improving electricity transmission and distribution as it is a bedrock for socio-economic advancement. These are just the tip of the iceberg, while you are all invited to join the National People's Party to accompany President Adama Barrow to the IEC headquarters on Thursday, 4th November 2021, to present his nomination papers for the presidential elections 2021. Barrow is for peace, progress, and unity for Gambians.
And welcome back after that commercial break. If you're just joining us, this is Star TV News from our studios here in Serekunda. And now on the international scene. Security forces in Uganda have increased patrols following recent suicide attacks that killed 4 people in the capital Kampala. Up to 100 people have been arrested since Tuesday and 6 people have been killed. Police say the Allied Democratic Forces, which originated in Uganda but are based in neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, now carried out the attacks. More with Al Jazeera.
Police and soldiers in Kampala prepare to go out on night patrols. There's a curfew in place because of COVID-19, but the patrols are now more frequent and thorough following attacks by 3 men who detonated explosive devices, killing themselves and other people near a police station and Parliament last Tuesday. George Katana, who had a shop on Parliament Avenue, was one of 4 civilians who were killed. He was the breadwinner of a big family. His son says he was tough but loving.
Could push you to something like school. We have gone into good schools, but with no money. He has been there for us.
The attack comes off the back of 2 others in October, one at a restaurant in the city and another on a bus that was traveling to western Uganda. The government has blamed the Allied Democratic Forces with roots in Uganda but now based in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's North Kivu province.
This is not a military conflict. It's more of an intelligence-led campaign. You just need to find out who and where.
ADF fighters have carried out a series of attacks and killings in recent years, including an assassination attempt in June on General Katumba Wamala, the roads minister. His daughter and driver died in that attack. ISIL has claimed the most recent incidents in the name of its Central African Administrative Branch. ADF is said to have links to it. About 100 people have been arrested and 12 others killed by security forces in the last 5 months. Police say they're all linked to ADF, and some have been actively recruiting young Ugandans to join the ranks. Some security experts say killing suspects could be harmful to the fight against what the government calls terrorism.
If we don't get very, very careful as operational and they die, then we are turning them into martyrs. We are turning their relatives into martyrs because they will now have reason to join what they believe, what they did not possibly believe in.
Life is coming back to normal in Kampala following the explosions. Some Ugandans are worried about the possibility of more attacks, but they also say they are determined not to live in fear. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Kampala, Uganda.
It has been nearly a month since the military seized power in Sudan, dissolving the interim government and declaring a state of emergency. However, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan has now agreed to restore the planned transition to civilian rule by reinstating deposed leader Abdallah Hamdok as prime minister. But it remains unclear exactly how much power the reinstated government will hold. The country's main opposition coalition says it will not recognize any agreement that shares power with the armed forces. Al Jazeera's Hiba Morgan reports from Khartoum.
A breakthrough in Sudan's political crisis, nearly a month after a military takeover and the dissolution of the transitional government. On Sunday, military leader General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and deposed Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok signed an agreement that paved the way for Hamdok to be reinstated.
As I signed this document, I am guided by 4 basic principles. 1, we must put an end to bloodshed. I know our people are capable of sacrificing. However, each drop of blood is precious. Let's put an end to the bloodbath and let's spare each and every drop of blood.
The agreement comes after weeks of negotiations between the two sides, mediated by Sudanese political figures. It calls for the release of political prisoners, including senior officials, who were arrested on October 25th, the day of the takeover, and in the days that followed. The agreement also lays out a plan to expand political participation in the transitional government. General Burhan, who cited political divisions as the reason for his taking power, says the deal will lead to dialogue to end those divisions.
Today, we believe by signing this political document, we are paving the way for a true democratic transitional period, as pictured by ourselves and by the people, and as what you envisaged at the beginning of April 2019. We thank all the Sudanese people and all the efforts and sacrifices made by our fellow Sudanese.
Sudan has been governed by a power-sharing agreement between the military and the political coalition known as the Forces of Freedom and Change since August 2019. But the months leading to the recent military takeover saw tensions between the two sides. Both accused each other of slow economic recovery and lack of judicial reforms. The agreement signed between Hamdok and General Burhan may have reinstated Hamdok as prime minister, but it doesn't mean the end of Sudan's political crisis. Since the takeover nearly a month ago, there have been protests nearly every day, with people demanding an entirely civilian government and an end to the partnership between the military and civilians. Sunday's deal means the military remains as a governing partner, and that has angered many here. Thousands protested near the presidential palace in Khartoum before the signing of the deal. Authorities responded by firing tear gas and live ammunition in the air. At least 40 protesters have been killed since the military took over, and more than 200 injured. The Forces of Freedom and Change, which nominated Hamdok as prime minister back in 2019, has distanced itself from the deal, and analysts say there are questions about how much the military can be trusted.
The last month has been a total fiasco for the military. Why? Because they did what they did, and suddenly they had to do 180 degrees return. That doesn't mean that the prime minister is suddenly the ruler of the land, but what it means is that there is a momentum suddenly not in favor of the generals, but rather in the favor of the street. But as you said, we will see where will this take us, because there are a number of dynamics at play here. There's the military, there's the street, there is the neighbors and the African Union, and there's the international community.
For now, Sudan takes another uncertain step in its transition. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Ethiopia's prime minister says he will travel to the front line on Tuesday to lead the military against rebel forces. Tens of thousands of people are believed to have been killed in battles between Ethiopian army and the Tigrayan forces that began last year. An analyst says the language used by Abiy Ahmed in Monday's statement is worrying. Al Jazeera's Victoria Gatembe reports.
Ethiopia's Prime Minister says it's time to lead by personal example. It's a dramatic new step in the conflict that's devastated the northern Tigray region. In a statement released on social media, Abiy Ahmed said, "This is a time when leading a country with martyrdom is needed. I will go to the front line and lead the military from the ground myself. Those of you Ethiopians who want to be remembered by history for the sake of your country, join me in the fight today." Analysts say it's an unusual move by the Prime Minister.
I think it is a sign, a hope for that will also mobilize other Ethiopians to join the military forces and to join the war against the Tigrayan Defense Forces. But certainly it is also a sign of desperation.
In response to the Prime Minister's statement, the spokesman for the Tigray People's Liberation Front tweeted, "Abiy's mimicry of Ethiopia's wartime emperors has taken on an all too palpable schizophrenic overtone. I would have dismissed this as yet another sick joke." Abiy ordered a military offensive against the TPLF last November, saying it was in response to attacks on army bases. The TPLF says it was unfairly targeted, but in June this year, Tigrayan fighters recaptured the regional capital, Mekelle, and they're now advancing on the capital, Addis Ababa. Despite a flurry of recent diplomatic activity, a ceasefire has not been reached, and analysts say the language used by Abiy in Monday's statement is worrying.
He does have a military background. If you look at his Nobel Prize speech from some years ago, he used a lot of war imagery to talk about the lessons he'd learned about the hell of war. But here we are, almost full circle with a Nobel Peace Prize winner using the most bellicose language to try to, ramp up the stakes ahead of this defense, not only of Ethiopia, but life and death. He says basically he's willing to die for the cause.
Both sides of the conflict continue to maintain hardline positions and have set preconditions ahead of any negotiations. Victoria Gatembe, Al Jazeera.
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. Tributes pouring in for late Pandari Mbai. Thousands line streets to welcome President Barrow from countryside. US-Gambia signed agreement for implementation of $25 million enhanced electricity access project. Global Home insists arrest and detention of its rep unlawful. Kunkujang Jatea tourney on the way with 17 teams are entitled. And on the international scene, Uganda boasts security after deadly suicide attacks. Sudan's reinstated Prime Minister Hamdok promises a path to democracy. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed vows to lead army from the battlefront. And that brings us to the end of our news at 8 o'clock. More news coming ahead at 10 p.m. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.